Hi guys, and welcome back to the Handsome Pugs channel. You're joined today with me, Emma, and my two handsome pugs, Oscar and Henry. In today's video, we are going to be talking about separation anxiety, which means that we are going to be talking all about Mr. Henry. Now, Henry is what we call Jekyll and Hyde. So one minute he is the calmest dog in the world, and the next he is absolutely mental. So I'm hoping for my sake that he stays like this during the video. I've purposefully filmed this at a time where he should be nice and calm, but you can never guarantee it. What I'll do during this video anyway is I will overlay footage all the way through. The plan for this video is to give you guys a background as to how we got Henry, what his story is. I then want to talk about the different things that we have tried with Henry. I'll talk about what did work, what didn't work, and then I just wanted to get some advice from you guys. So if any of you have had a dog that's got separation anxiety, or even if you can just see anything from these clips and you have any tips and tricks for me to try, I would really appreciate anything. Henry has had separation anxiety for a number of years now, but recently it just seems to have got a lot worse. Also, I say separation anxiety, we have had quite a few different opinions from vets, from trainers, and it's actually quite 50-50 as to whether they think it's separation anxiety. So again, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. I won't be offended with, any comments, any tips, any hacks, anything. I'm always willing to give it a go. So yeah, I'll go through Henry's story, but before we get started, why don't you guys grab yourself a drink? I have had a lot of coffee today, maybe 4, so I'm on the water. Tangent, but does anyone else struggle drinking water? I bought this bottle recently just to help me drink water, and I don't understand why it's so difficult. It's like the one thing that we've been doing since we were born, and you could literally die if you didn't do it. Yeah, it's so hard to just drink water. Honestly, I don't get it. Right, have you got yourselves a drink? Get nice and comfy, and let's go through Henry's story. So we got Henry back in 2020, literally 3 days before lockdown, which was the weirdest timing. We actually weren't looking for another dog. So we'd had Oscar for about 4 years before Henry came along, or maybe 3 years. Yeah, we'd had Oscar for 3 years before Henry came along. We weren't looking for another dog, but we were on Facebook one day and our local RSPCA had a pug up for adoption. So we saw a picture of Henry, he looked super cute, and we went down to the RSPCA and we took him some pug food. Long story short, I have made a separate video on this. But long story short, Oscar and Henry got on like a house on fire, and it just seemed like the perfect fit. He seemed like the perfect fit for our family, and so we adopted Henry, and he came home with us 3 days before lockdown. Obviously, the UK went into lockdown. We didn't really go in and out of the house for a long time. We didn't have any other people coming into our house. We didn't go into other people's houses, as you all know. So we didn't realise for probably a year that Henry has separation anxiety, or that something goes down when you come and go from the house. So we first started realising it when my other half, Matt, went back to work. He, at the time, was a taxi driver, so he would constantly be in and out of the house, going for jobs. And Henry started reacting. He would bark. So we would you know, do whatever we had to do to sort of calm the situation. It wasn't too stressful at the beginning, but as time went on, the barking would get worse. He was picking up on all of the signs. Matt would go to the cupboard and grab his shoes. Henry would bark. Matt would get his keys. Henry would bark. Filling up a water bottle, he'd bark. Even going to the toilet, just things that you do before you leave the house, Henry would pick up on those signs. And as the years have gone on, Henry has picked up on more and more signs.
What's up, Henry? Your dad's just eating breakfast. There's nothing going on. Does have his shoes on though.
And now it's at the point where I can literally be sat here on my own, working. Even on the sofa, I can have my feet up, I can be super chill, and he'll start barking. And there's literally zero signs, like I'm not going anywhere. Which is why I say it's got worse, because he's picking up on more and more things. So yeah, we got him before lockdown. We then realised after about a year that he goes crazy when you leave the house. We also then started having other people come to the house for dinner and things. And again, he would bark at them constantly. We noticed if like a plumber came in the house, or a gardener, just if anyone came in the house, regardless of how long they're in the house, he would bark at them. And it's not just a quick bark, he will go on and on and on and on. And he literally won't stop unless you give him a treat, which I'm very aware doesn't help the situation, or if you basically distract him, take him away.
Hi. Come on then, Heads. Let's get a treat. Good boy. Good boy. Alright. He's gone nicely. Bella. We calm now? He's gone. He's gone. Good boy.
So we noticed all of this. It was all getting a bit stressful. So we paid for a behaviourist to come in and see Henry, and basically give us training on how to train Henry. So she came in a few times. She didn't think it was separation anxiety. Or was it her that did? So we saw two people. I think she said it was separation anxiety, actually. So she was the behaviourist. She thought it was separation anxiety. And she went through lots of different training methods with us, mostly based around treats, because Henry is very food orientated. And to be fair to Henry, he is very good in a training environment. So on all of her sessions, he would do really well. He picked it up really well. He behaved like such a good boy. And yeah, it just went really well. So her advice was to put it into practice in real world scenarios. So if Matt was going to work, basically just slow the situation down, give it time to train him before Matt left the house. So we would do that, and we were getting somewhere until maybe Matt had to leave in a rush one day, because particularly being a taxi driver, sometimes people want picking up now. You don't have sort of 20 minutes to train your dog while you get out of the house. So it was going really well until sort of one day when the training didn't happen, and essentially he just sort of lost all of the training that all of the things that he'd learned. So again, we'd pick it up again the next day, we'd start training him, and it just felt like you were starting back at square one. It was a little bit painful. So I suppose we gave up on it a bit, to be honest, because it is just hard on a daily basis, training a dog, particularly if you're leaving the house regularly. It's a lot. So yeah, we left it a while after seeing her, and we got another dog. He was a dog trainer this time. We got a trainer in, again, to go through all of the same problems. But we'd also realised that he was very noisy in the car. So we got the trainer in to look at his general behaviour, separation anxiety issues, but then also to see if he could help with the car. He had a very different opinion. He was much more of like a firm trainer, I suppose. He, not in a horrible way, but he thought that it wasn't separation anxiety. I think he basically thought that Henry was a bit of a brat, and he'd just got into these bad behaviours, and because he'd been rewarded with treats, or he'd just been given what he wanted, I suppose, and so he uses barking to get what he wants, is what the second trainer thinks. And I mean, I can definitely see that he is a bit of a brat, to be honest. So this trainer came in, again, he gave us loads of tips. He went through all of the training program with us, and Henry performed perfectly again. And he gave us something to work on, but again, just in the real life, it was difficult, so we didn't keep it up. At this point, we were talking about different solutions, so maybe over-the-counter medicines is where we started next. We went next. So we went to Pets at Home, and we pretty much just worked our way through every calming or anxiety product that we could find. Most of them did nothing. One of them did work for literally a week, and I can't remember what one it was. I think it was one of the travel sprays. It did work really well for a week, and then overnight it just stopped working, like just nothing. So again, we try all of the different products, nothing else would work. So then we got to the point where we thought we'd take him to the vets and see what they had to say about it. Obviously, you've also got to add into all of this, and sorry, I haven't actually told you guys, but when we adopted Henry, he was 4 years old, and we didn't really know that much about why he was put up for adoption. So there's like a big chunk of Henry's story that we obviously don't know about. So we don't know if he was maybe left alone a lot, which is why he's like this. Or maybe he was never trained that well as a puppy, and maybe he is just a brat. He's just used to barking when he wants something. He could have been beaten. Literally, we don't know what's happened to him. So we're always quite sort of sensitive to that point, that we don't know what's happened to him, and it's not his fault that he is how he is. But I mean, look at him now. He's an absolute angel. And we did find, when we took him to the vets, he is the most well-behaved dog at the vets. There's like zero sign of anxiety. He's so chill. He like walks in there, hi guys, I'm Henry, like wanting to make friends with all of the vets. And then you tell them that your dog is like this anxious mess, and they're like, are you sure? So that didn't help. But yeah, so we took him to the vets, and they went through the different options with us. So there's a few different types of medication you can give your dog. They start you on obviously the more mild stuff, and then you can work your way up. Actually, let me grab the medication they gave us, because then I can tell you the names. Okay, I've actually set him off in doing that, so maybe it's good for the video, maybe it's not. This is literally medication. Neither of you want this. It's medication, boys. So, she gave us, to begin with, hens. So she gave us 2 types of medication. She gave us gabapentin, and she told us to start with this and basically see how he got on for a week. So he was on 100 milligrams of gabapentin, and he was on 2 of these a day, so 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. So I gave the gabapentin for a week. I did notice that he was a little bit calmer. He was still barking and he was still anxious, but he was a little bit slower, I suppose, which did help a bit. Definitely in the first few days, he was a lot slower. This is Henry after 5 days of gabapentin. Henry! He's still enjoying walks and things, but he's sort of closing one eye a little bit. He looks very dopey. If we have another dog with us, they like whack him in the tail because he's a bit slow. Bless him. Hello. Here he comes. He's still got enough energy to run. He's still having a nice time. Hi, Henry. Good boy. Henry. Hen, what's this? What's this? So he looks a bit snoozy. He's doing good. Good boy. We joke about Henry anyway because he's sort of in his own bubble. He's not very with it. I don't know if that's a pug thing, and Oscar's a bit of a crossbreed, so I don't know if that is what makes them different. But Oscar's much more sort of on the ball than Henry is, aside from the separation anxiety things. I guess he is quite on the ball with that. But yeah, anyway, we joke that Henry sort of bumbles around in life and he doesn't really know like what's going on. Henry, come. Hello. Hello. Come on, good boy. Then as the week went on, he sort of was a little bit slower and it gave you a little bit more time. But it wasn't really making that much of a difference, to be honest. And then she said if that didn't work, to try him on trazodone, which apparently I think this might even be like is it a human antidepressant or something? I think that trazodone, they give to dogs and cats before stressful events. So I think if your dog is scared of fireworks or travelling and you need to travel, you would give a single trazodone before that stressful event. So just a quick Henry update. Last night my dad and stepmom came over for dinner, so we decided to give Henry one of his trazodone tablets. We'd been prescribed them by the vets. I can't remember the measurement, but I'll include an overlay so you can see. So the vet advised to only take the trazodone when Henry was facing a stressful situation. She said to take it 2 hours before the situation occurs. So we knew in advance that my dad and stepmum were coming around for dinner, and Henry, that is a stressful situation. He normally, when people are around, he will just bark non-stop. Well, here he is. Yeah, he just barks non-stop. And it's not even when people are leaving or when they're doing anything. We can all just be sat chilling, nothing's happened, and he'll start barking and he won't stop. And it's really stressful for him. So we decided to give him one of his trazodone tablets. And it did work. He was very chill all evening. He was very spaced out. He wasn't himself. But not necessarily in a negative way, because he stayed in the room with us all evening. He just napped on his beanbag, whereas normally we're constantly trying to get him to stop barking. We're putting him in another room, and he just seems very stressed, so it was nice for him not to be stressed for once.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Is he against
It's not. It's just not normal, is it?
No.
It's
Doing the
nice.
job.
Bye then.
Good boy.
I better not stress him out. We better.
Let's see what happens.
Henry, that's more
That
like.
was alright though.
But we did notice this morning, so we woke the boys up, we let them come up into our room with us, which we do every morning. Matt was stroking Henry's belly and he noticed that it was wet. So I had a little feel, and yes, his tummy was wet, but we noticed that he was licking his tummy quite a lot as well. So I said, oh, you know, he's just licking, it's fine. Not really thinking too much more of it. And then I sort of got out of bed to get ready, and Henry came towards me, and I was just sort of laying down, like with my knees on the floor, giving him some attention, and I literally saw a drip of wee come off his little willy. And then I noticed on the bed there were like other spots of wee, so I was like, oh my god, he's leaking. And yeah, I think the tablets basically chilled him out so much that he lost control of his bladder. Like, he wasn't full on weeing, but his belly was wet and I definitely saw drips coming out. So that wasn't ideal. And he's also been very like snoozy today. I thought it would be out of his system by now, to be honest, but it doesn't appear to be.
Go on then. Go wee wees, mate. Wee wees. Weird. Henry normally loves to wee. Go on, have a wee wee. Go on, you can do it. Oh, good boy. Oh. Weird.
But I brought him out on a walk with me today. I nearly didn't. I thought he might like to stay at home. But then I thought, actually, it might do him some good to be out, get some fresh air. And we can take it slow. And obviously, worst case, if he doesn't want to walk, I can carry him. It's not the end of the world. We're also quite close to home, so yeah, he seems to be enjoying himself. He's just bumbling along. Aren't you, Henry? So yeah, that's the latest update. We decided to take him off, well, to not give him the trazodone again, because, well, it's annoying because it did work and it was a good solution, but I don't know, I just feel quite bad as well because he is a bit tranquilised, and obviously if he is losing control of his bladder a little bit, and I don't know, I just feel a bit bad for him. But we've also decided since to stop taking his, what's it called? Gabapentin that the vets had given him to take twice a day. So this morning I didn't give him that because I just felt too bad giving him more drugs, because the gabapentin had also chilled him out. Not to the same extent, but also not enough to be a benefit. He was slower, but he was still just as anxious. So yeah, I've decided to stop the gabapentin as well. So yeah, I'm not really sure where to go next, but for now we're off the medication and I'll go back to the drawing board, let you know what we decide to try next. It's a very difficult thing to deal with because when he gets anxious and when he's barking constantly, yes, it's annoying for us first and foremost, but also for him, it just can't be very nice being that like stressed and worked up all the time. So we don't want him to do it for us or for him. We just want him to be calm and happy, which is why we wanted to try the medication. But obviously, if it's sort of changing him too much, or if it's literally making him incontinent, it's not worth it at all. Like, we felt quite guilty actually at that point. So yeah, we pulled him off the medication, and we haven't done anything for probably 6 months or so now, which is, yeah, why I wanted to make this video, I guess, because I could really do with some tips, guys. This is a prime example. Okay, so now I'm just going to continue chatting to you, but it's very distracting. So nothing's happened. I'm on the sofa, I'm here alone, no one's home, he hasn't heard anything, and he just randomly, for no reason, starts barking at me. You can ignore him. You could ignore him for a very long time, and it wouldn't make a difference. So you've tried ignoring him. You try giving him attention, talking to him. Hen. Henry, no. Hen. Henry, sit. Sit. Henry, sit. Good boy. But the barking doesn't stop. And the problem is, I'm very aware of our neighbours. So I'm just going to finish this section and I will put him away. But I'm very aware of our neighbours, and I just don't want anyone else to be annoyed by it. So there's the situation right now where he's clearly stressed, or he wants something, I don't know, but he's clearly looking at me. Then there's the fact that my neighbours, I'm going to put him away because I can't concentrate. But now, so what happens now, and this is the only way I can deal with this situation currently, is for me to carry him away, which is quite stressful. And then he calms down and I can concentrate. Let me show you. Sorry. So I literally carry the poor boy away like this. Come on then. Come on then, boo. Sorry, Oscar. I left you with the medication boxes. So, that was a prime example of Henry and his separation anxiety, brattiness, whatever you want to call it. That is what we deal with several times a day.
Literally minding my own business on my laptop, and this is Henry.
Just sat here eating breakfast, minding our own business, and this is Henry. Convinced that something is happening. And we're just relaxing. Henry, I'm literally sat here minding my own business. So that literally happens several times a day at the moment. It happens when Matt leaves. So Matt now is a driving instructor. So again, he is in and out of the house quite a lot. Granted, not as much as he used to be, but he is in and out. So that sort of thing happens every time Matt comes and goes. If anyone else comes and goes. But then recently it's also started happening randomly when there's no signs of anyone coming or going. The current solution is literally to do what I've just done and to carry him up to our bedroom. Our bed is quite close to our door, so I hold him, basically like throw him onto the bed. It's not that dramatic, but throw him onto the bed, shut the door and leave him in there. And after 30 seconds to a minute, he's so chill and he will just sleep up there. And to be honest, he'd be happy up there for hours. He doesn't mind once he's alone. Once you've left, like if you leave the house, he's over it within a minute. If you put him in another room, he's over it within a minute. So he'll be quite happy chilling in our room upstairs now. But I always feel like the process of getting him to our room is never feels that nice. It's sort of like just carrying him away, like because he's been so naughty, sort of thing. But yeah, it's very complicated because as soon as you leave, he is so over it, which I think is why one of the trainers didn't think it was separation anxiety, because he's really good on his own. He doesn't care when he's on his own. And the other thing is, if we're somewhere different, so if we go to a friend's house that he doesn't know that well, or if we stay in a hotel, anything like that, he's silent the whole time. There's none of this. It's just in our house or like very close family members' houses, like houses that he goes to regularly. And then Oscar sits there like an absolute angel. So yeah, I don't know if it is separation anxiety. I think one of the trainers told us that if it was separation anxiety, he would be anxious once we'd left the house, but he's not actually anxious once we've left. To be honest, he couldn't care less. The second you leave that door, he's pretty much over it. And like now, you can't hear anything. He's just relaxing on our bed upstairs. So there's very mixed opinions as to whether it's separation anxiety or not. But what I wonder is, if it's not separation anxiety, what is it? Is it just a badly trained dog that's been able to get away with stuff for a long time? I don't know, but it's very difficult knowing how to deal with it. And like I say, I am sort of worried about my neighbours constantly. I will add, I left him barking on camera for longer than I would normally leave him barking. I'm normally a lot quicker to put him away because I don't want him to annoy other people, because that bark is horrible. Like, it goes through me. So, and particularly where it's summer, the doors are open. I just don't want other people to be annoyed by it too. The other thing, sometimes I'll give him a treat when he's like that. So rather than the sort of stressful carrying him away, I might get a treat and take it up to our room and give him like a dental stick on the bed. I am very aware that isn't helping the situation. I likely am rewarding his behaviour.
Henry, sit. Wait. Wait. Good boy. Be calm now.
But at this point, Henry's 9 years old. His behaviour is very ingrained, and it's sort of a toss-up as to whether we really commit, both like financially and from a time point of view, whether we really commit to solving the problem and making him better, or if we just accept that is Henry, and we have adapted, to be fair. We've got our little ways of doing things, like putting him in the bedroom. Sometimes when me or Matt are leaving, we'll throw like a little scoop of kibble on the floor, and the boys are like both going for the kibble, and we can just walk out the door. There's no problem. Good boy. It's all right.
I've got some treats, and pretty much the only way I can get out of the house right now is by throwing him a treat, which I understand is probably not helping the situation. But when there's real life involved, sometimes you've got to do what you've got to do. So I'll just show you what he's like when I leave. So I'm going to the door. Just get out. He will bite my feet. Just try to leave. Like, I'm not getting out. So what we have to do, one for us, one for hens, and then run. That's it. So yeah, that is how I have to leave the house. But the annoying thing, well, it's kind of good, but it is annoying when you look back through the door, because we've got like a glass bit in our door. He instantly is over it. Like the second you've shut the door, you can't hear anything, the barking instantly stops. So it's not separation anxiety in the sense that he's anxious when we're not there, it's just the act of going that makes him anxious. So yes, it's a bit dramatic.
Yeah, so I'm quite confused because what started as separation anxiety, or what looked like separation anxiety, is now sort of morphing into something different. So you saw what he was like here when I'm literally sat there doing nothing. He has become like it around dinner time as well. The boys have never had a very like set dinner time because I don't want them to be annoying when it gets close to dinner time, basically. But when I go in there and get the dog food out, he just barks. And he never used to bark this much, but it's definitely got worse. So yeah, just to summarise Henry's many issues. He barks when we leave the house. He barks for his dinner. He barks when other people are in the house. And he now barks randomly. So I guess it all stems around this barking. He stops when I give him food. But one thing that he does do, if I give him a dental stick, he has got much quicker at eating that dental stick so that he can then come after me before I leave the house. So he definitely is food orientated, but it's very much about quickly eat the food and then stop them from leaving. Yeah, so I guess that's Henry in a nutshell, really. So thank you guys for listening to my story. I hope I've overlaid enough footage. This is one of those things we've been living with for years. And to be honest, when you're in your normal routine, you just sort of get used to it. You figure out ways to deal with these things. But it definitely is getting more and more annoying. So I have been trying to capture as much footage as I can. Firstly to show you guys, but also to show professionals as and when I decide to see another trainer, see a vet, etc. So yeah, thank you for listening, guys. And honestly, I would really appreciate any tips, any guidance down in the comments below, or even just to hear your stories. Like, to hear that other dogs are like this would put my mind at rest. Because I do feel really bad and I just want to do the best for Henry. But yeah, I don't really know what to do, to be honest. I feel like I'm at a bit of a crossroads with it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please do comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. If this video goes down well, I was tempted to make a 24 hours with separation anxiety video. So I can literally show you guys from like start to finish of the day what he's like. I thought it might be good for documenting, and also maybe things are happening that I'm not telling you guys, so it would be good to see sort of firsthand exactly what happens in our day. Obviously I won't film like a whole 24-hour long video, but yeah, that's the next video I'm planning if you guys enjoy this one. So thank you so much for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you did like it. Please don't thumbs down me. I'm not a bad dog mum, I promise. I'm just trying to do my best for my dog. So give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Take care, guys. Bye.
Don't be afraid, won't let you fall, girl.